you know, this show, Boss Moves, is the main reason I'm doing this because I have a passion for people. I know that everyone has a calling and they have a purpose. See, I'm going to have guests on the show that's going to be showing you that they made some boss moves to get where they are. I'm a church girl, and you know what? Being a church girl, I grew up listening to things in church that let me know I believe I'm supposed to be successful. So definitely remember that, as I said, you can be, you can do, and you can have all that God has planned for you. Now that's a boss move. All right. If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Boss Moves with Naomi.
All right. I want to welcome you to Boss Moves with Naomi. I am super excited to have you all here. I'm super excited for those who are going to be viewing on the bandwidth, as he mentioned. You guys, this is going to be exciting. We have an exciting show lined up for you. An awesome guest. I am super excited about this guest because he is very, very powerful in what he knows. Not just what he knows, but he has the action to prove it. Yes. All right? Is that all right? You know, in this show, as I mentioned, this is an inspirational, motivational, upbeat show. Not like other shows where you're going to hear about the gossip of celebrities. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in you. I'm interested in those who are viewing. I'm interested in you progressing in life and having success that I know and believe that you really can have, but you just have to make those boss moves to make that happen, all right? Somebody asked me, what is boss moves? Well, boss moves is something that you do positively to push your life forward. It's an activity that you do. So there are a lot of things that you can do. I'm going to be learning some of your boss moves. And so in between that little gap of space is called a synapses. So right in between, there is some communication going on. How does that communication happen? There's going to be a spark of electricity, not just electricity in the house, but electricity is going to spark and it's going to give off chemicals. It's going to feed that information to the next receptor, to the next neuron. So our inspirational talk this morning, is simply about your thoughts. Your thoughts actually produce. Did you know that?
Yes.
That your thoughts produce things. Your thoughts, the way they started out, is the reason you're sitting here today. For where you are in your life today, it started with your thoughts. Now I want to show you something, tell you something you may not have thought about with the thoughts. Think about it this way. In your brain, I'm going to show you what happens in your brain when you start thinking. In your brain, the cortex, that's where they call the thinking cap, there is packed filled with a lot of cells. 186 to 100 billion neurons. You didn't know you had all that in your brain, did you? Where there are about 86 to 100 billion neurons. And each neuron has hundreds of connectors, hundreds of communicators, hundreds of contacts in them. And when you think about it as branches all around, think about those branches in your brain Now the cortex, I know this is almost like a class, right? But this is something you're going to appreciate. Now the cortex, what's happening is receiving information from outside, it's gathering that information and feeding it to the other neurons. They're communicating with each other. So whenever somebody say, you talking to yourself? Say, yeah, I am talking to yourself, and you are too, you just don't know it. So inside your brain is communicating. Now, what do you want your brain to be communicating and sending back out? How do you want your life to actually line up? It starts with a thought. If you're thinking negative and it's communicating negative thoughts, it's communicating negative things, and it's going to bring out your life to be a negative life. You cannot think negative and have a positive life. Did you know that? You cannot think negative and have a positive life. So this is how your thoughts are actually running around in your head and producing. So when you have those thoughts and you're thinking those thoughts that you have and pushing that out, you want to make sure that you're gathering all the positive information that you can. I know I have someone here I call Mr. Positive, because he's always on the positive note even when he answers his phone. So you know what? That's a positive person. You cannot help but end up in a good place. You see people that have great things going on in their lives, it started from a thought. You see someone that's out and down and out, it started from a thought. They can't push past that thought. You got to be able to push past what's going on in negative outside of your brain, right? That's feeding you. What are you feeding yourself? What are you listening to? What are you telling yourself? When you lay your head down at night, what are you telling yourself? What is the thought that you're thinking about? Are you saying to yourself, you know, today is going to be a great day. Today is going to be, oh my goodness, I have so many things to do. It's going to be all messed up today. What are you thinking? Are you telling yourself, I can do this? I can move forward. Yes, I can. Or are you telling yourself, you know, I can't do that. It's too many obstacles. See, this show is going to show you how to push past those obstacles. You're going to be able to push past those obstacles, especially through the gentleman that I'm bringing today. He's going to show you and tell you about the obstacles that he had and how he pushed past. I'm hoping that you can see yourself on this stage when I have a guest. You can see yourself through that guest and learn how to push past whatever it is that's going on in your life, and to know that yes, you can. Yes, you can. Too many times, people have a lot of things and dreams and great things on the inside of them, and they quit. They quit. Why? Because they got hard, because there was an obstacle. But I'm here to let you know, and sometimes you need to hear that, so that thought can get in your head. I'm here to let you know that you can be all that you really desire to be. You can be all that you really desire to be. You can do that. You can do that. And sometimes if you hear that, then you start receiving that. Now that's the way you're going to start thinking and believing. That's what I want for everybody that listens to what is going on this show. This is going to be the upbeat, positive that you need. All right? So we're going to move on to our next segment. And I'm always giving a cue to move on to the next segment. But I want you to stay tuned, because what I'm going to be sharing with you on this show is also some things that I know personally. And one of them is, in our health tip, is how to age gracefully. Anybody want that tip? You want that tip? All right. Stay tuned. When you come back, we're going to go right into that information. All right? Well, I think now that I have some years on me, I can feel free to say that to people. So what information am I going to give you? First of all, I'm actually going to be one of those women who tells the secret, my age.
What's up, family? It's Lico Mac, representing for Next to the Stage. Next to the Stage is a black-owned, low-cost event venue that can accommodate any style event. It has a main area, lobby area, 2 VIP rooms, 4 restrooms, pool table, kitchen, and patio. So if and when you need a place for your next event, think Next to the Stage. We're located in Fort Worth's sunny southwest side at 4612 Granbury Road, just north of I-20.
how to age gracefully. Now I'm going to tell you guys just a little secret that I'm not going to tell everybody, all right? It's just for your ears only. The reason I'm doing this is because I have a lot of individuals that ask me, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I don't really always know what to tell them, so I said, I'm going to make that a segment in my show. What did I do to age gracefully? What am I doing to age gracefully? Well, I think now that I have some years on me, I can feel free to say that to people. So what information am I going to give you? First of all, I'm actually going to be one of those women who tells the secret, my age. Wow. A lot of women don't want to do that, right? A lot of women hide that. I have a sister, I don't even know her age. She will not tell her age for anything, and I know what is in between. I'm going to have two people to guess. You gentlemen, right here. Guess.
35.
Okay, I love him too. And one more person. Who wants to guess? Anybody else want to guess? What?
47.
Okay, all right. You're getting close because she saw my kids, right? All right, well, June 11th, I will be 56. People ask me, how do you, still look, or what are you doing to your skin, or what are you doing for a way? Well, you know what? It's deeper than skin. It's much deeper than skin. So all of the workouts and everything, I'm not even talking about that. See, there's a deeper thing that's going on the inside that's going to help you age gracefully. And I think you need to know that. And even those who are in here in their 20s and their 30s, I want you to know that. Even the ones who are older now, you can actually stop that time clock a little bit. All right, so the first thing, and these are just things that I've done. Somebody else may have a list, but this is my list, all right? And I just feel like I want to share it with you. My list, stay spiritually connected. You have to stay spiritually connected. When you don't have a spiritual background or a spiritual connection with the one that created you, you are not going to know what to do. It's not going to be a peace inside. See, that spiritual connection kept me, I'll just read here. God is my connection to peace, love, happiness, achievement, and gratitude. I'm always filled with gratitude. You can be having hell all around you. You must stay mentally active. A lot of times when you're letting time pass you by, and you remember the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and we moved on, you don't even know. So you need to learn some new things, and even Facebook, Instagram, you don't have to be on them all the time, but just know about them and keep your mind fresh and your brain fresh for what's going on today, and not just living in the past. So that's one thing that I've always done, is learn something new continuously. Always learning something new. That keeps your spirits up. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. So if you're challenging yourself, you're always in the know, in the now. You're not in the past. And that does something from the inside. These are things that are happening from the inside that comes out. Set short-term and long-term goals. Not only that, but you also want to set those goals and achieve them. So if you're setting goals, guess what that's doing to you? That's keeping you moving forward and thinking forward, because you have to accomplish these goals. So in way of aging gracefully, you will be surprised what this does for you, because it's all from the inside out. That's what I want to drive home. It's from the inside out. Find your purpose and work on it. It doesn't have to be something that's going to change the world. It may just change one person's life. When you know you have that meaning, something like that that's facing you, you're always going to be thinking forward, thinking up. See, it's all about being up, thinking up. Smile from the inside, and it will come to the outside. So that is huge, you guys. Keep a smile. because people will give that back to you. And you know what I learned? Something that when I smile, if I'm feeling really bad, even sick, if I smile, try it. It actually does something to me, does something for me, and I begin to feel better. Put that smile on. You'd be surprised what that's going to do for you. And I don't know if you've ever thought about some of these things, but this is what I've done like my entire life. Watch what you eat. Yeah, I'm going to go there. Watch what you eat. Drink water. Some people actually say, I don't like water. Well, water likes you. Your body is made of 70% of it, so you might want to continue to drink it. That makes a lot of things work well in your body when you drink water. So you want to make sure you are drinking water. I may step on toes, but I got to tell you. No smoking, excessive drinking. Did you know that smoking ages you? It actually ages you. And excessive drinking, that ages you. These are things that break down the good chemicals in your body, and it ages your body. And you begin to look, sometimes you'll look your age, and before you know it, you're going to look older than your age. Exercise, walk. You don't have to go join a gym. I'm not in a gym. If you move around the house, do yard work, do chores in your house, but just move around because the body is made to move. The body is made to move around and stay energetic. That is how we were made. That's why we have limbs that bend. I mean, you know, when you think about it, seriously, this is what's going on. That's why you're supposed to be moving around and active and alive and exuberant. These things continue on and help you with your youth. Get rest. I know sometimes you can't get that rest you want every night, but you know, continue to get rest. Make sure you know how they always say, get your beauty rest. There's something to that. Get your beauty sleep. Get enough rest at night, because you all know what happens when you are not resting. It shows in your eyes, right? And then you start feeling it in your body. But that's just not a one-time thing. That's going to continue to wear on you until it's going to start changing your outward appearance. Don't allow people to put you in their box of, we're getting old. So, what are you thinking? What did I just talk about earlier about the thoughts? What it's doing in your brain? It's going to make that thing come to manifestation. So, what are you thinking? Don't think just because, I don't think just because I'm getting ready to be 56 that I'm supposed to act and look and dress a certain way. It's, you know, it's already in me that I do what I need to do for the day, and this is who I am. So if I see somebody in a group of people who are 56 years old, it doesn't mean I have to dress like that, right? So when you dress, that's another one. I dress a certain way because, that's a youthful, I have a youthful mind. Youthful thoughts will make me dress a certain way. So some people want to put you in a box and say, you should look like this. Don't let people put you in a box. That's their box. And if they want to be in that box, let them. That's not your box. All right? Okay, so fix yourself up. It usually makes you feel a certain way. When you fix yourself up, you could be laying in your bed and not, think about it. When you're laying in the bed and you have a robe on all day. You kind of feel like slopping and sloping around the house. I've done that many times. I know how it feels. But I'm saying fix yourself up and make yourself get up. That will bring a youthful look about you. You want to age gracefully. You want to have moments to yourself where you're in your own head and relaxing and thinking, because that meditation, the Bible even tells us to meditate in the Word day and night, right? So you want to meditate. You want to meditate sometimes and just think and relax, and that does a lot for you from the inside. All right, so I'm being given a cue. So you guys, this has been our health tip, how to age gracefully. I hope you got something from it. That's a boss move if you can go on and do that, all right?
And so as a young Christian, I actually became a Christian at 6 years old. But as I got older and my faith grew in God and my knowledge of God's Word grew, then I started to realize that, I think people have made a grave mistake because God's telling us in this book that we can have whatever we want.
This is Boss Moves with Naomi. Are you all ready to make some boss moves? Well, you know, this show, Boss Moves, is mainly, the main reason I'm doing this because I have a passion for people. I know that everyone has a calling and they have a purpose. See, I'm going to have guests on the show that's going to be showing you that they made some boss moves to get where they are. I'm a church girl, and you know what? Being a church girl, I grew up listening to things in church that let me know I believe I'm supposed to be successful. So definitely remember that, as I said, you can be, you can do, and you can have all that God has planned for you. Now that's a boss move. All right. If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Boss Moves with Naomi.
There's a misconception about sickle cell disease. It's not just a black disease.
My mother has sickle cell.
And my brother has sickle cell.
I have sickle cell.
Sickle cell is a serious blood disorder in which the body makes sickle-shaped red blood cells. When the flow of blood is obstructed, it causes excruciating pain and even death.
Stop the misconception about sickle cell disease. Join the sickle cell fight.
Together we can turn a sickle into a smile.
I'm not very easily impressed. I just have to let you know that. But I am very impressed with this guest that we're going to bring onto the stage. This gentleman has, I call him the financial guru because of the things that he has accomplished and everything that he has done in his life to bring us to this point, even to this day. He has helped me financially. Usually at this point, I have a financial segment and I talk about finances and give you some financial tips. But why would I give you the financial tips when I have the financial guru in the house, right? So I am going to I want you all to just help me welcome this guest, Mr. Ivey Stokes. Yeah. Well, you know what? I am excited. I am really excited about this moment to have you here with us finally. And I've been just anticipating, thank you, I've been anticipating having you here because of what you have to offer. And so my goal is to help individuals, move forward in life. And I know financial education is extremely important.
Yes.
It's very important, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's very important. I say all the time that education is subject specific. And so in America, we know that education is very important, and so also is financial education. So I'm just glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me today.
Wow, thank you for being here. This is really awesome. Mr. Ivey Stokes, I am just grateful to have you on. I consider you the financial guru. So you are a finance guru to me, so let me say that, right?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So what would you say first sparked your interest in finance?
Well, basically, I just wanted some money, There were plenty of people that obviously had great lifestyles. And I grew up very poor in a small rural community in South Georgia with my 5 brothers and 5 sisters. And so we were very poor. And obviously there were people in town that had a much better lifestyle than we did. And so I wanted that lifestyle, so that sparked my first interest.
Wow, and I'm sure we can all, understand coming from that type of background, that would be an interest. If you see somebody that's doing something really great, and so there's a possibility out there, so start following that. That's wonderful. So could you share just a little bit, since you mentioned, could you share a little bit more about your background?
Absolutely, yeah. As I was saying earlier, I grew up in a small town, Twin City, Georgia. It was so small, we always make a joke, it was 2 towns were so small they put them together and made 1 town. It's actually a town of about 1,500 people, and it's a farm community, so literally I grew up picking cotton and cropping tobacco, which today most people don't even know, what that is.
Right.
And my kids always say, well, Dad, that was like 100 years ago. But in reality, I'm just 58 years old, so it wasn't that long ago at all.
Okay, you're right. It wasn't that long ago, 58 years old, right?
No, not at all, not at all.
So when did you realize that this was a part of your purpose?
Well, in addition to growing up in a small farm community, I also grew up in the church. I was actually raised by the mother of a little holiness church in South Georgia. And so, you know, we were in church all the time. And I enjoy reading, so I've spent considerable time reading the Bible. And there are many, many scriptures there to talk about people having success, you know, and so I always wanted that. And so as a young Christian, I actually became a Christian at 6 years old. But as I got older and my faith grew in God and my knowledge of God's Word grew, then I started to realize that, you know, I think people have made a grave mistake because God's telling us in this book that we can have whatever we want. And He's already made the preparations for us to get it. And so that gave me the faith to say, you know what, I can do that. And I can also help other people do it.
I think that's awesome. Well, you know, that's really awesome because exactly what you're saying is exactly how I feel. And to hear somebody else actually say it. After growing up, don't people realize that in the Bible, it teaches you to be successful? It says things about being the head and not the tail, above and not beneath.
Absolutely.
So, and to be successful and conquer and more than a conqueror, that was all the things you learned in the Bible. So what you're saying, I can really feel that. That's exactly what I've always thought about. So, you know, starting in a business, you talked about and you mentioned, I read that you had started with $10 and as a senior in college, and you started off. I want to hear just a little bit more about that story. Can you share that with us?
Yes, absolutely. I started my senior year at Georgia Tech, guys. It cost $10 to get an insurance license in the state of Georgia. So I spent the $10, got my life insurance license, and started selling life insurance, and then eventually I rolled into selling mutual funds and investments. And it was great. We made a lot of money and had a lot of fun.
Wow. From $10 to where you are today, and you carried that knowledge on and kept on with your financial status that you have right now, I think it's extremely impressive to let other people know. Yeah. You can start small. Don't despise your small beginnings because it could lead you to where we see Mr. Stokes is today. So what would you say people are actually doing wrong when they're really trying so hard, but they're not in this type of business, even that, you know, I know you have, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your business. So what would you say people are doing wrong, the reason they're not successful in this?
Well, I think one of the biggest mistakes people make in business is they assume that the only way that they can get started in business is by having a huge event or a big show day one, and so they're borrowing money. You know, so it's kind of hard to go forward if you're already going backwards 10 steps. You know, when you look at a lot of businesses in this country today, and even around the world, that are extremely successful, they started small and grew organically in the business. But you see a lot of people now, they borrow, you know, millions of dollars, you know, and so now they're trying to compete in business, but they forget the fact that they also got to pay interest on a debt, and they've got to compete in business. So I would say that even though it may not be as catch the eye of the media as much, but starting small and growing organically is very important.
Wow, that's a good tip, wouldn't you say? That's a really great tip. Because I know a lot of people, they want to, you know, do it now and be the success they want to be today.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a mistake because when people are trying to be that success today, it makes you do some things that you're going to have to really pick up the pieces a little later.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, that's really a great tip there. Now, I know, you know, I have now developed a few more mentors in my life, you being one of them.
Well, thank you.
Yes. So I want to know, did you have any mentors in your life, and if so, who were they?
You know, I really didn't know what the word mentor was back then, but I assumed it would be my auntie. I had an auntie, and she was a school teacher, very well known, and so she taught us a lot, you know, and she took us on trips and exposed us to other parts of the country, and so just the exposure was big. And, you know, other than that, I would say the only other who really wasn't a mentor, but Madam C.J. Walker is my favorite person in the whole universe.
Oh, wow.
So I draw a tremendous amount of inspiration from her because, you know, if you can come from where she did during the time that she did and do what she did, that was amazing to me. So, you know, anytime I got down there, I can just think about Madam C.J. Walker. And she was such a proud person and inspirational person. She was always my motivator.
Wow, that's awesome. You know, for those who don't know what Madam C.J. Walker did, just give a quick little highlight for them.
Well, you know, I always like to say that she was the first woman millionaire in America. You know, let's say she was the first personally made millionaire, you know, that she made her own money. But she built a worldwide cosmetics company, built her own factories, and this was way back in the early 1900s. You know, and as she says, in one of her quotes, she says, I built my own factory on my own ground. So she was really into that ownership thing, you know, and that's always motivated me.
Wow, that's really great. So it is important to look to people who have had that success and kind of follow what they're doing because, you know, why recreate the wheel sometimes when you see someone else has already done it. I remember back when I was crowned Miss St. Louis and was in Miss Missouri pageant, they asked us that question, you know, who is your mentor? And the only person at that time I could think of that I would even give that credit to was my mother.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's a very strong woman. So, yeah, it's very important to have someone to look to and glean from.
Absolutely.
That's extremely important. So, now I want to ask you about your boss move. What boss move did you make to get you started, to get you to where you are today?
I would say just getting in business with a big vision. You know, so many people talk about getting in business, they think about getting in business, you know, they go around trying to get all the information, but I just got in because my faith in God, you know, lets me know that once I get in, then whatever shortcomings I have, He's going to make up the difference. And to me, that's the main thing, to get started.
Wow. Isn't that true? Getting started. Can't get anywhere without getting started.
Gotta get started.
So now, you are the CEO of myEcon. Can you let us know what is myEcon?
Well, basically, myEcon is a financial education company, and we teach people how to rearrange, or what we call shift, their financial strategy, their finances. We show them how to shift dollars from taxes and from debt back to positive cash flow, and then use the money that they were formerly losing to taxes and debt to start investing and building wealth for themselves and their family.
Wow, it sounds like a strategy going on here. I have you to know that's what I'm learning from you is strategies.
Okay.
And it's definitely something I'm excited about. And want everybody to know that there are strategies that you can actually take to lead your life in the right direction financially, because I know for a fact, Mr. Stokes, that anybody who has their finances in check, when you lay your head down at night and you're resting and there's nothing to concern yourself about, that's a good night, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's a wonderful night.
Yes, it is. And I want people to just imagine that, because you can actually have that.
Absolutely.
You can actually do that. So you're a great inspiration on that. So since we're talking about myEcon, briefly tell us, if someone was interested, how would they actually get started in myEcon?
Well, basically, they could call our corporate office, and then we would send them to one of our affiliate associates around the country. We have over 50,000 associates around America that market our products and provide local trainings for all of our associates out there, for our potential customers that we bring on. And we like to do it through person to person, because the hands-on relationship is very important in getting all the additional information. You know, because finance is a little more complex than, say, a product like nutrition or phone service. And so we like to do it on a face-to-face basis. Wow. And, you know, one of the most wonderful things about our business is they can actually get started in our business for just $35 a month. But because of our strategies of income shifting, we show them how to save more than that on taxes. So in our business, we have a very famous saying, and that is that the government pays the bill.
All right. I have a few people in the audience who can attest to that you are definitely because they are experiencing that where they had an increase even on their paychecks because of it. So that's a wonderful, wonderful thing that you've been able to bring to light for us. Now, so what role would you say also, I want to go on this level of it, that faith and spirituality plays in success? And I know you hit on it just a little bit earlier.
Well, for me, it's everything because, growing up, being raised by the Mother of the Holiness Church, we learned the Word. And I've read all of the traditional books out there, Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big, The Magic of Thinking Big, The Black Choice. I've read all of the motivational and personal growth and development books and been to 1,000 courses. But the thing that I've learned is that every one of those books are based on principles that's in the Bible. And so for me, even when I teach my seminars, I tell the audience that I don't really talk about positive thinking, I talk about faith. Even though they're the exact same thing, it's just who gets the credit.
I like that. Because I have noticed that when I see these self-help books about positivity and things like that, I've been able to line it up with scripture in the Bible. They're getting it from that some kind of way.
Absolutely.
And paraphrasing it. That is so true. So I love that you brought that out. I love that you brought that out. So what was let me hear your worst challenge.
I would say my worst challenge was building a core of leaders that were trustworthy and have the same goals and mindset. It's easy to get people, you get a lot of ideas that come to you in business, but it's no saying that how can two walk together if they don't agree. And so when you're trying to get 10 or 12 to walk together, then that's a challenge.
Wow. I can agree with that.
Yes.
Experienced that one too. So
Yes.
You definitely can, speaking the truth. So I want to know now, what is your next boss move?
My next boss move is to make myEcon a household name and literally help 1 million people become financially successful or either millionaires.
Wow. Did you hear that? And also the last statement you said, I want you to say that part one more time. Because somebody may have turned their head from looking at the screen or whatever, and they may have missed that. I want them to hear that one more time. Could you say that one more time?
Yes, to empower 1 million people to attain personal financial success or become millionaires.
Wow. Hey, it's possible, guys. It's definitely possible. I am so excited for you, coming and sharing with us everything that you're sharing and letting us see that we too can do and have all that God planned for us. It's possible. To be a millionaire, they say in order to help the poor, guess what? You can't pick one of them.
Absolutely.
You got to step outside of that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so exactly. So that's why your strategies are so important. They are so beneficial and they work. So you ever want something that actually works and does what it say it does? This is it. myEcon. And the reason I bring that out because I have experienced that. I'm looking at how that works and different ones that I've been able to help. It's all because of what you started.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
I really appreciate it. So definitely what we're going to do, I'm going to come back. When we come back, we have a few people in the audience that may have a few questions. And so we would like for you to answer a few questions. But definitely, let's give it up.
What if all of your assets is expended in everything that you have? Where's the extras going to come from?
That's a fantastic question, and the reason I say that is all of your assets can never be extended.
Sickle cell is a serious blood disorder in which the body makes sickle-shaped red blood cells. When the flow of blood is obstructed, it causes excruciating pain and even death. Knowing if you carry the sickle cell trait will help stop the reproduction of sickle cell disease. Sickle cell is not just a black disease, it's an everybody disease.
Stop the misconception about sickle cell disease. Join the sickle cell fight.
What's up, family? It's Lico Mac representing for Next to the Stage. Next to the Stage is a black-owned, low-cost event venue that can accommodate any style event. It has a main area, lobby area, 2 VIP rooms, 4 restrooms, pool table, kitchen, and patio. So if and when you need a place for your next event, think Next to the Stage. We're located in Fort Worth's sunny southwest side at 4612 Granbury Road, just north of I-20.
Well, welcome back to Boss Moves with Naomi. And I tell you, our last segment was so exciting. Listening to Mr. Ivey Stokes. So he's given us some great tips and things that's going on in this business called myEcon. So I know we have a few people who have some questions. This is our Q&A section, so definitely think of some questions. Listen, we have a gentleman in your midst who is a multi-millionaire on his verge of becoming a billionaire. I know you're not going to be tight-lipped on this time, on this moment, right? A closed mouth, the what does not get fed. So we definitely want you to have some questions because this is a time of your life to be able to ask that to Mr. Ivey Stokes. So I'm going to have our assistant, Marcy, that she's going to come to you. And if you have any questions, can you raise your hand at this time?
So, Mr. Stokes, I know you
Stand
said
up,
that,
please.
yes, ma'am. I know that you said that one of your challenges was early on building a core of leaders who had the same mindset. Well, prior to that, when you started business early on, what were some of your challenges and how did you overcome them?
Well, I would say early on, the biggest challenge in business is always cash flow. You know, you gotta have positive cash flow because you gotta take care of your family. And then at the same time, you gotta have extra money for your business. And so it's really just a matter of working extremely hard and sacrificing. And then, you know, doing some of the things that we talk about in our business, which is minimizing taxes and debt. You know, because when most people look at their finances, a significant amount of their dollars go to taxes and debt. So you gotta lower taxes and debt, and then sometimes just sacrifice and work hard.
Thank you.
Hi. You mentioned about finding leaders. What do you look for in leaders? What kind of qualities, what kind of people would you say come and become part of your leadership team?
Well, what I've done is over the years, I've tried to find diamonds in the rough, you know, because I wanted to build a leadership team that would have our same mindset. And sometimes if you get people that have already been super successful, you know, they've already got their own thing. And so I look for people that have a tremendous amount of desire. I look for people that want to learn, you know. And for me, it's very important for them to have the right spiritual background.
How you doing? Chairman Williams. What if all of your assets is expended in everything that you have? Where's the extras going to come from?
That's a fantastic question, you know, and the reason I say that is all of your assets can never be extended because the greatest asset that God gave you is you. And so you can always do it.
How you doing, Ms. Stokes? I know you made a lot of your wealth from investments, and right now in the country there's like this big thing of Bitcoin. What is your personal opinion on the crypto coin and Bitcoin?
Well, you know, basically getting into any specific investment is very difficult to do in a very short time frame. But one of the things that we do in our company is we teach people about every type of investment from a basis of terminology, evaluating investments, and also investment strategies, you know. And so literally, you know, you can get with one of our leaders in our company or get me afterwards and I can give you more detailed investing. But it's very difficult to discuss one individual investment in just a matter of a couple minutes.
Hello, Mr. Stokes.
How you doing?
I have a question for you. What would you say would be the best way to handle being told no and don't want to get in business that you're trying to teach other people?
Just basically ignore it. Even, the Bible says that the poor will be with us always. And, some people, they have their own desires, or they have their different ways of doing things. Or a person could even be wealthy and say no, but the main point is that you only need a very small percentage of the population to become extremely wealthy. And so I say we should be sorters instead of evangelists. The attitude of an evangelist is to go out and change people's mindsets. And the idea of a sorter is to find people who think like you already think. And so that's what I do. I look for sorters. And obviously, if you're going to sort through something, you got to get a lot of no's to come up with the yeses.
Mr. Stokes.
Hello.
I'm in my 20s now and fresh out of college, and one thing I struggle with is not being naturally business inclined. Like, it's hard for me to picture myself being a salesman. So I was wondering, how do you motivate yourself to work for business and get in the business mindset?
I would say to make yourself a confession. That's one of the big things that God always did in the Bible. Was with the prophets, he would always tell them the things that they were supposed to do. And he told us to have confession. So sit down and say all the things that you want to do in your life, write them down. And then every day, confess them audibly with your mouth. And guess what? Over a period of time, your mind is going to change and line up with your words.
Mr. Stokes, my name is Frida Williams. I have a question concerning baby boomers, which is what I have.
Okay.
Okay, when you've been placed in a predicament where you do have a cash flow, but you don't want to, we were taught not to spend our money, so how much should I put into my own business?
Well, it would be
and it's safe for myself.
It would be difficult to say how much you should put, because different type of businesses have different cash flow requirements. But one of the things that we do in our business is we have what we call the cash flow strategist, where we put all of your finances into our software, and then it analyzes that information, and then we can give you an answer from there. But it would be difficult for me to do that, just off the cuff without asking you some more questions. But after the show, I'll be glad to do that for you. Okay?
Hey, Mr. Stokes.
How you doing today?
I have a question for you. You said something one time before talking about myEcon being different than the other companies, and you try to take it in a different direction than all of the other network marketing companies. So if you really don't want to be known as network marketing companies, can you explain that to us?
Yes, basically in our business, we have a saying that strategy beats, that strategy from sales. And one of our extremely successful leaders, Mr. Brian Reed, came up with that saying. We'd like to give him credit for that. But it's all based on the idea that when you look around, when we look with our eyes, we can see what's going on around us. And then we process that information. Well, if you look at most of the millionaires in America, they're not salespeople. So obviously something is going on other than sales. And so in myEcon, even though we sell products and promote products, we also teach finances, because you can increase and affect your finances in ways more than sales. Example, you can use strategies to lower your taxes. You can use strategies to eliminate your debt. Well, those two things will also increase your cash flow, and then you can take the money that was going to taxes and debt and start investing. And so that's what that statement was about, is we love network marketing, but we don't want to just do network marketing. We also want to add on the financial education.
Now, I have a question for you as well. I know myEcon is the business you started is responsible for pushing out about $400 million in individuals like myself and other individuals in the business into their homes, into their bank accounts, into their cash flow. So what would you say the biggest tip on how to even make that happen for individuals who are listening?
I would say the best way to make that happen is to take a few minutes and listen to a myEcon overview. Because that's when we talk about the basic formulas of lowering taxes and lowering debt. You see, most of us grew up in households where we were taught the way to make money is to work. And work is good and work is honorable. But when you look at finances and cash flow, there are strategies that you can put in there. And so that would be the first step. A quick example of that is when we had the recession here in America, a really big recession several years ago, companies did more than just try to sell products. You know, they cut expenses, they lobbied Congress to get tax concessions, they lowered debt, and so they used multiple strategies to increase their cash flow and their finances, and so that's what we do with myEcon. And so the best place to start is to start with the myEcon overview.
Wow, that's really good. You all heard that, right?
I wanted to ask, I guess for business entrepreneurs who want to be that way, how important is it to have financial education when you're starting a business? Because I know there are some people who start a business and have no idea about financial education to actually build their own business. And also, being in the business that you have, is it good to be in that business while also having your own business?
Yes, that was a compound question. That was a great question. But it's impossible to be successful in business without financial education. Because so many decisions in your business is not going to be based upon the products or services that you sell. They're going to be based on finances. And so I would say that a person that gets in business, if they don't have a financial education, to start to get one immediately. You have to invest in yourself in terms of seminars, books, whatever, networking, whatever possibilities you have to get that financial education. And yes, our business will help anybody that's already in business increase their financial education and help them grow their business.
Great question. Well, I am so, do we have any other questions? Okay, well, I am so excited about you, just being here and answering these questions that's on people's minds and just the way things go and to bring to light, and I'm going to say this, Mr. Ivey Stokes, that you have brought to light for a lot of people that education and finances is so important and not just getting out there just to make money, only to turn it to a situation where now you don't have the money. What do you do? Because you were not educated on what to do with the money so you can keep it. And that's just amazing. It's simply amazing to me because it helped me realize that the rich are going to be the only ones get richer until the poor gets educated.
Absolutely.
Even take this to the next step of actually looking into what Mr. Stokes is talking about so you can change some things in your life. And you know what, in this business, what I really love is you don't even need a lot of money. I always say you can actually work at Burger King and do this.
Absolutely.
You can use Burger King money and actually become very successful, very successful. So I'm just going to say thank you so much for being our guest today. Let's give him a round. On our next one, we are going to be wrapping this up, but Mr. Stokes has definitely given us some vital things to think about, and we're super excited about the boss moves that he made. Do you know what? The boss move he made can change so many people's lives. That's why boss moves are so important. If he didn't do that, guess what? We wouldn't have this opportunity. People out there would not have had that $400 million floating through the cash flow. It's all because of the boss moves of one man's movement. So you make a boss move and you can change many lives and not just your own. All right, thank you. what are you the boss of?
I'm the boss of Dollars with Sense Marketing, and my slogan, Dollars without sense, S-E-N-S-E, don't make sense, C-E-N-T-S.
This is Boss Moves with Naomi. Are you all ready to make some boss moves? Well, you know, this show, Boss Moves, is mainly, the main reason I'm doing this because I have a passion for people. I know that everyone has a calling and they have a purpose. See, I'm going to have guests on the show that's going to be showing you that they made some boss moves to get where they are. I'm a church girl, and you know what? Being a church girl, I grew up listening to things in church that let me know I believe I'm supposed to be successful. So definitely remember that, as I said, you can be, you can do, and you can have all that God has planned for you. Now that's a boss move. All right. If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in to Boss Moves with Naomi.
All right, welcome back to Boss Moves with Naomi. I am your host, Naomi Greenlee. I have had so much fun with this show today. And it's fun to me to learn about finances. I don't know about you, but it's fun to learn about how to get that in order to fix that money thing, right? Okay, so in this segment, I'm going to have a few people to come up because now we're talking about boss moves. I want to hear what your boss moves are, what you're the boss of. So I'm going to have this gentleman here to come up here and join me on the stage. Join me, and I'll just have your name. Let's give him a hand. Woo! All right, so first of all, what is your name?
It's Jesus Hawthorne.
Jesus Hawthorne. All right. Jesus is what I heard that you should say that like that, right? So, who's the boss? You're the boss. Okay, so what are you the boss of?
Well, I'm the boss of MUB, stand for Make You Better Financial Group. We're currently located in Harker Heights, Texas.
All right. What is your next boss move?
My next boss move, we're going to help out 1,000 families in the Central Texas location.
Woo! Dexter Sadler, he sounds like a speaker. All right, so Dexter, what are you the boss of?
I'm the boss of Dollars with Sense Marketing, and my slogan, Dollars without sense, S-E-N-S-E, don't make sense, C-E-N-T-S.
All right, that's pretty slick, right? Now let's actually call Mr. Positive. That's the way he answers the phone. That's how he answers the phone. All right, so what is your next boss move?
My next boss move is to create over 1,000 financially successful families throughout Texas in the next 2-3 years. We're talking about Houston, Austin, San Antonio, a part of Harker Heights, Killeen, Waco, and most importantly, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Female in the bunch. Let's see if we can help you join me on the stage. Woo! All right, thank you so much. What is your name?
My name is Stephanie Gordon. other people and other families, and also help small businesses grow and become more successful.
Wow, I love that. Did you love that? Definitely. What I noticed, Stephanie, is that everybody that's coming up here, they're speaking my language. They want to help people. I love that. Do you love that?
Absolutely.
Wow, so thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you. Give her a hand and she'll come back. You know what? I have time for one more person. I'm going to have the gentleman behind you to come up and give us, join me. Give us a hand, you guys. Okay, another short gentleman, come on up here. All right, so what is your name?
Seymour Greenwich Blake.
Seymour Greenwich Blake, right? That's a pretty awesome name already.
All right.
So what are you the boss of?
TWB, Wealth Builders Financial Group.
Well, tell me, what is your next boss move?
My next boss move is to try to start a group of young teenagers to start educating them financially now while they're young before they get to the age where I am now, where it's too late to try to learn about financial education.
Wow. Well, see, sometimes I say at 29 and holding. Well, thank you so much for your sharing your boss move with us. Wow. I just really love that. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating and letting us know what your boss moves are. So we're pretty much. So I hope that you take away with you today that you are going to start thinking the right things. Think about things that are lovely, that are pure, that are honest, that are just and of a good report, and you cannot help but to come out with a great outcome.
My mother has sickle cell.
And my brother has sickle cell.
I have sickle cell.
I have sickle cell.
Knowing if you carry sickle cell trait will help stop the reproduction of sickle cell disease.
And a simple blood test can reveal if you carry the sickle cell trait. Join the sickle cell fight, because sickle cell is a deal of a pickle.
You know, I'm just thinking, just going over what we thought about today with the thoughts and everything that we talked about. I always get encouraged about those thoughts. When I think about in the scripture how it tells us, God is pretty smart. When you think, say it. Well, he says to think on these things that are lovely, just, pure, and of a good report. So that's why he's telling us that he knows all that activity that's going on up here and what it's going to produce. So if you're thinking the right things, guess what's going to happen? The right things will be produced.
Absolutely.
That's what's going to happen. So I hope that you take away with you today that you are going to start thinking the right things. Think about things that are lovely, that are pure, that are honest, that are just and of a good report. And you cannot help but to come out with a great outcome. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you know what? As I always say, this is the end of the show. But you guys, just know this, that you can be, you can do, and you can have all that God has planned for you. Now that's a boss move. This is Boss Moves with Naomi. Are you all ready to make some boss moves? Well, this show, Boss Moves, is the main reason I'm doing this because I have a passion for people. I know that everyone has a calling and they have a purpose. See, I'm going to have guests on the show that's going to be showing you that they made some boss moves to get where they are. I'm a church girl, and you know what? Being a church girl, I grew up listening to things in church that let me know I believe I'm supposed to be successful. So definitely remember that, as I said, you can be, you can do, and you can have all that God has planned for you. Now that's a boss move. All right. If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in